to get started, I'm going to basically show you the base of the cake. What I did was actually just went ahead and covered it, pre-covered it in fondant, and I did like a mix of colors so it gives it more, there we go, gives it more of like a marbled effect to it. There we go. Trying to get the angle of the camera right. There we go. So it kind of gives more of like a marbled effect. Just because I just like the way it kind of looks, it gives it more dimension. So, but this is basically the cake that we're going to start with. And we're going to start with doing a little bit of FlexFrost first. Let's see, what have I got right here? Got all my stuff here. I'm trying to organize it. There we go. Okay. All right, so first, I'm using actually two different colors of FlexFrost. The first one I'm going to use is the black, which is basically right here. Okay, just comes in a plain sheet like that, and you just peel it off like so, just like that, which is actually really nice because it stays really flexible and it feels kind of thick right now. But we're actually going to dip this in water, and it's actually going to, that water is going to absorb into the FlexFrost to where you're actually going to be able to make it into a paste. And then you're going to be able to put it in your mold. So let me get some water because I did forget to get a bowl of water. Hang on one second.
No problem. Hi, Heather. Heather's on. And everyone, I know the black FlexFrost is in stock right now. But this is the time of year that it goes quick. So if you want some black FlexFrost, I would order it. And don't forget to use the coupon that's scrolling across the screen.
Ooh, excuse me.
But if they run out of black FlexFrost, you can make black with white. Just use the little gel coloring.
There you go. And see, you hit on something I'm actually going to do on the next part of the FlexFrost.
All right. Very good. Cool.
Yes.
Can't wait.
So let's see. All right. So I'm actually going to do this a little bit in reverse. So what I did was I actually already pre-did this morning before I left for work. So you see the spider web on here, right? And I want to show you guys how easy it is to peel off, all right? And then I'll show you actually how to apply it on. So I'm doing this a little backwards, but I promise it'll work. All right, so I'm going to tip the camera down. Lori, help guide me.
Yep. Down just a little bit more. Right there.
Right there?
Right there.
Okay.
And, yep, okay. And everything will be right in the center. That is the center right there.
Right there. Okay. Yep. All right. So to take this off, I'm actually just going to turn it over nice and gently. And you see it's already starting to come off already without even me barely touching it.
Yeah, right? Look at that. How easy that is.
So it is coming off so easily. Oh, right there. There we go. And to help guide a little more, I just put my hand on it like that. Gently pull it off. Gently pull it off. And then voila. How marvelous is that spider web right there, right?
Very good. That is awesome.
Gotta love that.
I love making the spider webs. Those are so much fun.
I do too. They're my absolute favorite.
Mm-hmm. All right. Tamara wants to know, how long does it take it to dry?
So it depends. If you leave it out in the open air, it takes about a couple hours, depending on the humidity and the temperature of your room. Like, for example, my house is at 72 degrees right now. Some days it's a little more humid than others, but here lately with it getting cooler, it's not as bad. So it takes about 2 to 3 hours for it to dry in the open air. But if you need it done a little quicker, you can sit the mat in your oven, but do not turn it on. Just turn your light on for about 5 to 10 minutes. what I usually do is check it every 5 minutes to make sure it's not over drying. So, but yeah, so you could do that.
Another thing people can do is if they have a dehydrator, if you're a cookier and you use a dehydrator, you can put it in the dehydrator for about 15, 20 minutes, just with the fan on, no heat. And you can do it that way too.
Oh, very nice. I did not know that. Hey.
Yeah.
All right, so now what I'm going to do is do the backwards part. I'm actually going to apply it on here. So I'm just going to take tear off a piece and tear off as much as you need. Okay. Now I'm actually going to just dip this in water, just like that, for a few seconds. Okay, and then take it out and then lay it on the mat for about a minute or so. And what it's doing, like I said, is the water is actually absorbing into the material. And you'll know it's ready once you start to see the imprint of the pattern that you see. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually just starting to show the actual print of the spider web. Just starting to. We'll give it just a couple more minutes. And then when it's ready, I'm actually going to take a scraper. Now I actually have a Icing Images scraper. And usually I think you can still get them from Icing Images, right, Lori? I think so.
Yes, you can. Yep.
So, but if you don't have one, you can always use like just a nice little plastic scraper at your house too. Either one works. All right, so if you guys notice that you can see the imprint of this pattern here now. So now I know it's ready. All right, so I'm going to take my scraper and just start scraping on the image. Just like that, going in various directions. Just like that. Pressing and moving, pressing, moving. Again, going in various directions. Okay. And this is great, you guys, for if you want to put it on cookies. Icing Images actually sells a lot of different lace pattern mats. And they're just, they work so well with this. All right, so when you're done, I usually just scrape off a little bit of it. Now, what's nice is I'm just putting it on a paper towel right now, but if you want to save this, you can actually reuse it, guys. So to reuse it, just scrape it off on like just like a piece of acetate or a side of a bowl or something, and just let it dry. And once it dries, you put it in a plastic baggie, Ziploc baggie, and then when you're ready to reuse it, just add water to it again. And that's it. No waste. So, all right.
Yeah,
and I'm going to just
one
do
of the cool things about it is you can reuse it too. Like say you make too much lace, just put it in a bag and save it and dip it back in water and you can use it again.
Yeah. So no waste and it's good money. So what I did with there was I just did one final scrape over on it just to clean it up, and then that's it. And you just let it air dry, or again put it in your oven with a light or a dehydrator.
How easy was that? Those are fun.
All right. Alrighty, let's clean this off a little bit. All right, so next we're going to do the white. We're going to use the white FlexFrost.
All right.
And let's see, let's get it out here. That's my black one's there. Okay. All right, so here's the white sheet, you guys. And again, with the FlexFrost, just peels off really easily, just like so. All right, so this time we're actually going to color it a little bit. So to do that, where did my sheet go? There it is. So I'm just going to take just a piece of acetate, lay it down, and I'm going to take just a piece of the white, tear it off. Okay, then I'm going to dip this piece in water. Soak in. Okay, and I'm going to set it down for a second. Now while the water is soaking in, I am going to add my color. So I wanted to get as close to this color green as I possibly could. This is actually from Simi Cakes. This is a Nicholas Lodge green, actually, that they have. So, and Icing Images also sells it as well.
Yep.
So that's what I made the spider out of. So to get as close as I possibly could, I'm mixing a little bit of yellow, and it's kind of like a lime green, something like that. So I'm mixing, actually this is gold. Sorry, I said yellow, but it's actually gold. So mixing a good bit of gold in there with just a tiny little splotch of green. Okay, and you can add in and whatnot as you go along. All right, so then you want to take your scraper and you basically want to add, you're basically just adding the color in by scraping it, just like that. And you're just basically mixing it right here. Basically just think of it as like an artist palette when you're doing this.
See, now I find that interesting because Susan's favorite way to do it is to use white and add the food color, but she puts it in a little bowl and mixes it up with a spatula. So I find it so interesting to see how everybody does this. This looks like it's more fun.
More fun, a little messy.
Yeah. And Heather says, "You're so tidy. I'm like a whirlwind of mess." Heather, we love you. You're not messy. You're fun.
You're so much fun, Heather. That's why we love you.
I know. I was gonna say.
Okay. So now I'm actually going to I'm going to set this aside for a second. Actually, let me set the bowl down. Okay. Scoot this over to the side, and then I'm actually going to be using this mat. You guys can see it. It's actually kind of like a leaf mat.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah. Also sold it in Icing Images along with the spider web lace mat as well.
Heather said she's glad she entertains us. And Jessica says she mixes it like you do. So just everybody, make sure you're watching the comments because I've been putting the links up if you need to find any of the products that Tammy's using. I'm trying to put the links up. So.
All right, so I just basically took my paste off my little painter's palette here, and I put it on the mat. And I'm just basically just scraping it and pushing it and scraping, pushing, just like I did with the spider web. And I'm just going all over the mat. And I'm just to get the effect, I'm actually trying to get some of the leaves that are like full leaves on here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just because that's basically what I'm going to be using for this project. But if you were just to like cover a cake, you definitely want to, cover the entire thing. I like the way it's kind of laid out. It's got some spaces to it. And it's also got some places where the leaves like cover themselves. I don't know. It's a really pretty mat.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
And that's that. Any questions about that, guys? Good.
Tamara wants to know, would you ever add a flavoring to it, or is it not necessary?
You can. See why not? You can always add a flavoring. I wouldn't add like a whole lot, just a little bit.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I think the same thing. If you wanted to add a flavoring, I would either add a teeny tiny drop of the Lorraine oils, or you could use the Perfect Palette, the powdered ones flavoring. Again, just a very tiny amount because both of those are really strong. It doesn't really have a taste to it. It's just kind of, it's kind of there. So, also make sure you
Yeah.
tell your people when you put it on a cake and that they can eat it, because they always think that it's not edible. And I always tell them, I said, tell them what's edible on the cake and what is not. And I always say, the kids like to eat some of this stuff. So they like to eat the spider webs and they'd like to eat the leaves. And, the kids like to eat it. The adults, not so much, but.
Right. And the only reason why the kids eat it because it looks cool.
Yeah. And Jessie Ann says it already tastes pretty good. So I would agree. I mean, it's edible. It doesn't, I don't know. It's kind of just tastes like paper, kind of not a bad tasting paper. It's just, and when you put it on a cake, it tastes, mixes in with the buttercream or the fondant or whatever you're putting it on. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, other than the texture, you really don't even know it's there if you're eating it with the cake and the buttercream and all that.
Yep.
So there it
Carol
is.
Fisher says hello to all of us. Hello, Carol.
Who does?
Carol.
Oh, hey, Carol.
She says she's late. No, you're not late, Carol. You're fashionably late. That's how we say.
Say, that's the way Carol rolls.
I know. It's fine.
It is.
All good.
We're easygoing here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just for time's sake, I went ahead and pre-did some of the leaves and of course the spider web. So just because we're not going to have enough time to let it dry. So I went and pre-did these. So we'll first start off with the spider web. Okay. So you notice here I just have some little edges and stuff that I'm not really going to use. So I'm just going to take a little scissors and basically just cut them off. Move it off to the side first. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to cut these off just with a pair of scissors. Just like that. Okay. And I want to leave some of these long lines on the edge just because I think it looks cool. But you don't have to if you don't want to. And there we go. And just set that off to the side. And again, you can reuse these pieces. Just put them in a baggie and then wet them again when you're ready. Okay, so I'm going to set that off to the side and then I'll do the leaves. So I got to just touch up the leaves here. So I'm just going to cut the edges very carefully.
Carol wants to, is the leaf a sugar velvet? Yes, it is. It is. Put it in your cart, Carol. Put it in your cart. That is a really cool. That is a really cool mat. And the spider web mat is available too. And if you're doing any kind of Halloween decorations, that is a great one to have.
So here's the first one here.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes.
I love it.
And then the second one.
And all the scraps that she's cutting off can be saved and put in a little Ziploc bag if you choose to save them and reconstitute them. Just get them wet again. And you can put them back into a paste and use them again. That's the good thing about FlexFrost.
I know, I think I've reused like some of my scraps like 2 or 3 times, and
Yeah,
they still just turned out beautifully.
yep, I have to. Carol says she's been making spider webs with her mat for a month now. I want to see all the
Wow.
spooky things you're making, Carol. You need to post them up. Post them up for us.
Yeah,
Becky
yeah,
likes
we
the
want to see
leaf.
what you're doing, Carol. Come
That's right.
on.
And Becky likes the leaf.
Okay. All right, so let's see. How am I going to do this? I think I'll just try and do it on the side. So you
Okay.
guys can see kind of what I'm doing. There we
Yep.
go. Okay. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of edible glue. Now here's the edible glue I'm using. It is Little Honey's glue,
Mhm.
and it is by far the best glue I've ever used ever, period. I mean, I'm a true believer of this glue. I have a ton of it and I use so much of it. I mean, to me, it's actually better than piping gel.
Yep.
It works so well.
Exactly. Yeah. I love using this glue as well. It comes in a jar or a little squeeze bottle.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have the actual squeeze bottle, but it comes like this as well with the little thing
Yep.
on it. Yeah. All right. So, and that's what I'm going to do with this guy. So, come around here. All right, I'm going to take my little dropper here and I'm actually just going to go just a few places like around on the edges. Just little dots. No big deal. A little bit here, a little bit there.
And Sydney says she made it. So hi, Sydney Gelpern. Welcome,
Hi,
welcome.
Sydney. Okay, yeah, and you don't have to cover the entire thing, just a few little areas. Okay, and I'm actually just going to put it just like that. Actually, move it over just a little bit more. It's hard to see where I'm going with this, but I want to make sure that you guys see it too. So, okay. Just kind of lightly press it down. Okay, and then some of these little edges here that are sticking up, you can either cut them off or turn them down and glue them down, just like that. Okay, same thing with that one. Okay, put a little glue right there. There we go. And then there's the spider web on, just like that. Just easy, easy peasy. Okay,
Yep.
and
It
then
looks so cool.
same thing with the leaves. Just a few little dots. Now let's see which side is which. I'm going to use that side. So you can't barely see it in the camera, but it's got two different sides. So you just have to pick like which side you want. This one's got a little bit more of a concave right here, where the other side's more, curved. So
Yep.
this is the part here that I'm going to put the glue on. So I'm actually going to have the leaf kind of sticking up like that. So I'm actually going to put just glue kind of right here and down. So I'll
Okay.
put it on the top part. Okay.
Carol says she likes that with Little Honey's glue, you can reposition the piece and it will still stick. So yes,
Yes.
that is true. Yeah, with Little Honey's glue, you can put your piece on, and then if it's not quite where you want it, you can take it off and put it back on. Still stick, and it doesn't ruin your stuff.
Yeah. Where piping gel usually does.
Yeah, once you put piping gel on, you're kind of done.
Yep, you are. It's stuck on there. Okay. And then same thing with this other leaf. With this other leaf here, I'm actually going to have it just a little bit further down. So I'm actually going to start the glue a little bit higher up on the leaf. Going to go down. Okay. Right there, how to do it. There we go. Press it down. And then voila. Actually, in the open air, it'll dry a little firmer. It won't be completely firm, but it'll be a little bit firmer than it is now. And I'm actually going to put just a little bit back here just to make sure it stays. Okay. Alrighty. Any questions about that so far? We good?
Nope. Nope. Everybody said it looks so cute already.
Yay! All right, so now we're going to move into the wafer paper part of this. Where did my wafer paper go? There it is down here. Okay. Let me clean my area real quick before we do that. On my beautiful Icing Images Silpat mat, which by the way is for sale at Icing Images as well. And it says happy decorating. Okay.
Gerald
Alrighty.
Fisher wants to know where Deb is. So if you missed the opening, Deb is kind of on a semi-vacation this week. She's working, but they're helping their oldest son, Matt. He's moving into a house, his very first house. So they're helping him. And Deb's trying to take a few days off. That's why you get me. Aha!
Okay, so with the wafer paper, there's a few ways that you can do this. You can pre-tear it and then spray it. I have a little bit of a vodka alcohol, only because it dries quick. And you can also use this paper potion, which works wonderful as well. It's sold off of Icing Images. Again, it works very well. It just doesn't dry as quick as the vodka. So that's why I'm going to be using that in the demo today. So, but this is wonderful, especially if you're making flowers and stuff. This is key right here.
Yeah, paper potion is the way to go if you're doing flowers. Don't use, now she's using alcohol. Don't use water because it'll dissolve the paper.
Yes. Yeah. Vodka will, it's actually just pure vodka. And it'll actually help manipulate the paper and then dry quickly.
Yep.
So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray it a few times like this, flip it over, and then let it soak in for a minute or so. See, it's already starting to be very pliable. Okay. And I'm actually going to start putting it on the cake like this. Well, you can. Actually, I think I'm just going to let it dry over here on the side while I do the others real quick. And if it's still a little wet, that's fine. You can do that either way. You can put it on kind of semi-wet or dry. So now you can also actually just spray the entire piece of paper and then start tearing the pieces too. Me personally, I just like kind of tearing them, making them the shape that I want, and then spraying them. So again, like I said, it just kind of does its thing. I spray some. You want to make some a little small, some a little bit bigger, taller. Okay. The nice part about it is too is that it doesn't take very long at all for the vodka or the liquid to actually just penetrate right into the wafer paper. Okay. Does anybody enjoy working with wafer paper? I mean, is that kind of one of their like staple things to work with?
A lot of people do stuff with wafer paper. And I'm starting to see it more and more lately. Lots of different things with wafer paper on cakes besides
Mm-hmm.
just flowers. So that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of like sales on
Mm-hmm.
cakes now. Um, I don't know, like there was this one cake that I saw on Pinterest and it just had beautiful sails like like what we're making here, but it was actually just swaying up this three-tier cake and it was gorgeous. It was kind of like a S shape and had like chocolate spheres in the center of each one. It was really cool, really pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is our last piece. Okay, so he's just kind of doing his thing. That's it. Okay. Okay, so let's see if I can get this right here. I'm gonna try and put it on this cake and let y'all watch. Okay, so I'm actually gonna spray just one spritz on here and then start attaching the wafer paper, just like that. And like I said, this is actually still a little damp, so it actually works pretty well.
So you're using the vodka also like a glue to stick it on.
Correct, yeah. And like I said, while it's still a little damp, it may move a little bit, but that's okay. It's still real pliable that you can move it, or you can
Mm-hmm.
just spritz it again and move it yourself. See, stay put.
That one was going to move all by itself.
Sure is. You're gonna stay put. I'm gonna use that one. Okay. And you can also just spritz the actual piece itself and then put it on there
Mm-hmm.
pretty quickly before it starts getting really too wet. Okay. It's turning out good. Okay.
That
I'm
is
actually
looking
gonna,
really cool. And
all right, so
Brooke
I
is
actually have a,
on. Hi, Brooke. How are
oh,
you?
hey, Brooke. All right, and I'm gonna spritz the back of this. I'll put it right here on the bottom. Okay. And then I'm gonna take this other piece and put it right here. Okay.
That's so
There's that so
cool.
far.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yep. Carol said those wafer paper could be ghosts. You're right. They could be ghosts. Maybe
It
they
could
are
be.
ghosts. She hasn't told us that.
Oh, Carol, I love you. But she's right, though. I mean, it actually could be
Yeah,
like
it could be
little
a ghost.
ghosts and everything. I love it, though. I love that idea. Okay, so that's the wafer paper portion of this session. And now we're going to get into my favorite, the Isomalt.
All right. She's going to make some ice malt. Woohoo!
Yay! Make an Isomalt spider. Okay. Gotta get all my stuff out of the way. Clean workspace. Okay. Set that out of the way. Set that out of the way too. Okay. Again, I am using Simi Cakes, Nicholas Lodge Green Isomalt. It is pre-tempered, so all you have to do is pop it in the microwave. And you want to start out at 30 seconds and then continue on at 15-second intervals until you actually start to see it bubble. And then you want to actually let the bubbles settle before you actually start using it. So I actually have some in here in my cup already. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in the microwave. Get that going.
I love this green color.
I do too. I just had to do something to kind of dedicate to him. So, all right. And then let's see. I'm actually going to, where'd my mat go? There it is. All right. So I'm actually going to, so this is the mold that I'm using. It's from Simi Cakes as well as the little spider mold. Now you can pour the isomalt, the liquid isomalt into this, but we're actually going to pull it and pull the isomalt and then put it into the mold.
Okay.
Just gives it a little bit unique effect. And I'm actually going to start, and I'll put the body in here and then I'll start pulling the legs because I want the legs just a tiny bit longer and just a little more, I don't know, a little bit more of a whimsical effect. So,
okay.
All right, so give that another minute. Now, before I start using the isomalt, I'm going to use my gloves. I'm not going to be like Brooke and burn my hands all the time. Just kidding, girl. So we're going to use double gloves. We're going to use the cotton gloves first and then put nitrile gloves on top of it.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the reason we do that is so we don't get burnt. And you'll see some people who are very experienced with working with hot sugar not use the gloves, but I have to have gloves. So,
yeah, it is always a great idea to wear your gloves. I know I have gotten burned a few times by not wearing my gloves, and yeah, the burns take a while to heal, and
yes,
they don't feel very good either.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that ice malt just sticks to you.
it sure does.
It's sticky.
All right. So I'm actually going to turn I have a lamp here, a heating lamp. I'm going to turn it on. And I'm actually going, like I said, I'm going to pull the isomalt and I'm going to use a thin silicone mat to pull it. I need to set that guy off to the side. So I'm going to sit this down for a second. All right. Need a big space to work over here with this. And so I need to warm up isomalt just a little bit more. Let's do 30 seconds. Oh my goodness. I don't know about you guys, but I love Halloween. We actually go all out for decorations and everything at our house. Like in front of our house, we have like it's like a skeleton yard, and they're doing
Cool.
all kind of crazy stuff. Like I have this skeleton actually chasing a skeleton. Well, actually, the skeleton dog is chasing the skeleton up one of our poles um,
Cool.
at our house. You know, and they all kind of have like funny, goofy expressions. I don't know. I just love it. It's just so much fun. You can do so
Yeah.
many things with Halloween theme. You know. Do you decorate your house, Lori?
Oh, yes, we do decorate. And of course, Susan really decorates. You can imagine that's Susan's favorite time of year. Susan
Yeah.
says it's Halloween all year round here. She was telling me her Jack skeleton stays on the porch all year.
Oh, love it. Love it. Oh, yeah. If my HOA would allow me to have Halloween out all year round, I probably would.
Yep.
And if my husband would allow me to, but I don't think he would.
I was gonna say, hubby might not let you either.
No, but hubby doesn't say it, but he actually does get very into Halloween and decorating. I mean, we had to add to our collection this year of skeletons thanks to him.
Cool.
So, okay. So the isomalt is ready. You notice here that it's not bubbling anymore. So I'm actually going to pour this on the mat here. Okay. And then since it's a very liquidy right now, I'm going to go kind of slow with the mat. And I'm going to fold it in various directions. Never folding in the same way each time, because what I'm doing is I'm actually cooling the isomalt down to be able to get it thickened and pliable so I can use it. Okay. By the way, the Isomalt starter kit is also for sale on Icing Images, I believe, as well.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So it's got your gloves, it's got this mat, it's got a torch.
Mm-hmm.
So
Carol says she wants to buy the 10-foot skeleton, and her husband said no. And Brooke said, "Why did you ask permission, Carol?"
For real, Carol.
Susan has the big giant skeleton spider in her yard.
Oh, wow, that's awesome with web and everything.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She's got the big giant skeleton horse too, but the horse scared the kids the first year, so now they just kind of lay his bones out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, the horse one makes sounds when you walk by it, and it really scared the kids. So we kind of toned that down a little bit.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm actually going a little faster with this, you guys, because it's starting to cool and it's starting to thicken up a lot more now. So again, I'm going in different directions. I'm kind of moving the mat just a little bit too, because if you keep it in one spot while you're doing this, that one spot stays hot and then your isomalt won't cool as fast. I don't want any of that shards getting in there.
Heather says she has a skeleton unicorns that whinny very loud. Those would be cool.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That would be cool.
Oh, I want one of those. One of my newest additions this year is a skeleton mermaid.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Oh, yeah. with this really long tail. And then my husband added on 2 skeleton sharks.
All right.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Carol said she saw skeleton dogs that barked. That would be awesome too. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, Heather likes the mermaid.
That's too funny, Heather. I thought you might. I don't know why. I just thought you
Yeah.
might.
Of course.
Okay, it's got a little bit of a heat spot on it, but that's okay. I'll actually show you guys. So what I'm talking about here is just a little heat spot in the mat where the isomalt sticks and it just doesn't want to let go. But that's okay. Just pull out what you can, okay? And then leave it like that. And then when it cools, you can just add a little bit of water to the mat and it'll peel right off. You never want to get too rough with the mat because otherwise it'll tear it. Okay, so with this, I'm just going to pull it, fold it, set it off to the side, and then start pulling. Okay, and then I'm going to take my spider mold here. And what I'm doing is I'm actually stretching and folding in the same direction, stretching and folding. This is going to give it those beautiful white lines that you usually find in Isomalt. And it also is actually cooling down the Isomalt tool. Rolling a little bit and pulling again. Okay. Alrighty. And one more time. All right. Now for this, I'm actually just going to cut just a little bit off. Okay. Set the rest of the Isomalt underneath my mat. And then I'm just going to push this in here. This is for his body. Okay. Okay. Now for his legs, like I said, I'm going to pull each of them individually. So what I'm actually going to do is cut to where it's actually got just a sharp line right there. And I'm actually just going to pull this like so. I'll cut it off right here. I'm actually just going to stick it right there. And then to keep it in place, give it a one little torch. And then do the same thing with all the other legs. Very quick process.
Yeah, this is a different way of doing it because see, most of us, like me, I would just board it in the mold. But this is cool, you know. I could do this. I don't work with Isomalt as much, so.
Oh, please, Laura, you can do anything.
I do okay with Isomalt, but not as good as you. I'll admit that. I like this effect though, because it's different.
Pop it there. And then stick this in. And it's actually going pretty quick, you know?
Yeah, it is very, very quick.
Okay. And then also, when you cut off little pieces like this, you don't want to put it back in the heating lamp. Put it in your bowl.
Yep.
Different temperatures will not mix. Okay.
This is so cool. You're right. Sydney said this is so cool, and it really is.
Oh, thank you, Sydney.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to see some more things working with Isomalt, you can go out on the Simi Torch Team Facebook page. You can join. It's free to join. That's a good page to see some other techniques. I've seen some really cool stuff out there. It just fascinates me. Mm-hmm.
And we have such fun on the Simi Torch team. I mean, it's a huge camaraderie between all of us. We all love to help each other out, you know,
Yep.
and just be very supportive.
Yep. That same thing with our Everything Icing Images page. It's the same thing. Everybody's very friendly, helps everybody out. If you're looking for Isomalt help specifically, join the Simi Torch Team Facebook group.
Okay. All right.
So cool.
Thanks. All right. So now I'm actually going to get a toothpick. I'm actually just going to take off the top just a little bit. We're actually going to warm this up and then insert it in.
Ah, I wondered how you were going to do that.
And this is how this guy sticks on the side. Ta-da! Okay, I'll turn off the heating lamp. Then put a fan on it so he cools really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Look at that. That's how easy that was. So cool.
Yay.
And I liked how you did the legs because that gave them that dimension, doing them this way. Because if not, they would have been kind of flatter, and then you would have had to heat them up and bend them. And this way you got them already kind of, they look spidery leggy.
Spider leggery.
Spidery leggery. There we go. New words. I should apply that for the Urban Dictionary. They put some really strange words in this year.
Love it. I think it's going to go right in there.
Yeah, it will. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take the gloves off. Let's see. I think I'm actually going to put them in before I paint them. I'm actually just going to give them a little bit of shading with a little bit of black, so he will show up a little more. One of my legs fell off. Dang it. Torch on the leg real quick. Oh, damn. Dang it. I set him down too hard. That's okay.
You can always add the leg back on.
Yeah. He's not going to go legless. Use that again. There we go. Okay, I'll let him cool more time. Okay. Easy peasy. Just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to make sure I show you guys this. All right. I'm actually just going to sit him on the side, I think about right here.
By putting that toothpick on there, that went on there really nicely. That is awesome.
Just like that.
What a great idea.
Very easy. Okay, and then I'm just going to give him, like I said, just a little bit of shading. I'm going to use a little bit of black gel color. You can also use a little bit of black airbrush color, whichever one you prefer when painting. The nice part about Isomalt is that you can paint it with either gel color, airbrush color, luster dust, petal dust, whichever. But the only thing is when you melt Isomalt, you want to make sure that you use airbrush coloring to color it. So.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm actually going to use the black and then just a little bit of dilution solution. If you see it, yep. Which, by the way, Icing Images also sells. It is a wonderful product. I use it on majority of my projects that I do. So I'm going to dip a lot of that, just a little bit of black. I'm going to really dilute the black a lot. Use a little bit of paper. And basically just kind of like wash it on just to give a little bit of like accent.
Yeah, like a little accent or texture. Add a little, just a little, zhuzh him up. We're zhuzhing him up with some black.
We're zhuzhing him up. We're
Yep.
zhuzhing, yeah. Zhuzhing.
See, you're going to be saying that all night now. You're zhuzhing stuff.
Lori is giving me all kind of words to think about tonight.
Right. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Oh, okay. There's his zhuzhing.
Oh, look, that is so cool. That just adds everything together.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then that's pretty much it.
All right. Very, very nice.
Ta-da! And see, even the wafer paper is dry now. Nice and crunchy.
So cool. All right.
So I'm going to turn it on up.
It's so cool, isn't it? That's it.